Hi, Randy Lennon back with another edition of Meridian Business Television, where we help entrepreneurs, business owners access capital. And wow, Keith Turner from Meridian Merchant Capital is here with us again. And did we ever have a response last week when we started talking about communicating with your bank? People apparently have issues in communicating with their bank.
Oh, we all have issues.
So, question. Can I achieve a long-term specialized relationship with a bank, and how do I do that?
Well, the answer is yes, you can. The sub-answer is that it takes work from both parties. It used to be that you met your banker once a year for lunch and you turned in your annual report and that was it. The economy and the world has changed immeasurably since those days. Banks are under more scrutiny themselves. They're scrutinizing their clients a lot more. So if you want to maintain that relationship, like any relationship that you have in your circle, you need to work at it. And so that communication, it starts with that, and that communication includes all the bits of paper and the stuff that banks like to see, like the business plans, the budgets, the cash flow projections, delivered on time so that the bank carries out its own analysis. You will find that paying visits to your bank and communicating with your bank when you're not being asked does pay dividends, simply because banks are funnels of information through to their credit committees, and they just want to make sure they're not going to lose the money they gave you.
Now, I remember in various situations in my business career and owning my own businesses where I didn't quite know how to approach my bank, or should I be inviting my banker out for lunch and sort of giving him an update when there's no real requirement for anything. When I look back on it now, I don't think I really spoke the same language as my bank manager. Right. And as much as, or my account manager wanted to work with me and wanted to make a connection and learn more about my business, he had a lot of other files to look after as well. So advice on that, that whole question of maintaining and building a relationship with your banker.
Well, the point is that, there's no reason why you should intimately know the business of banking if you're a business owner. They're supposed to know your business because that's why they lent you money. The truth is, both parties have a certain level of ignorance about what each other does once they leave that room.
Right.
Bankers do not run businesses. In fact, if they have to run a business, that's the worst circumstance for them. They do not want to run your business. That's why they scrutinize your loans. They want you to do well because that way you are not a problem for them. On the other hand, there's a little bit of a fear factor, I think, still in a lot of business owners when they approach a bank. They feel like somehow they're crossing a threshold. It's an establishment. It's almost like dealing with the tax authorities or the government. So they don't always know how to present their materials or themselves to get the best possible result. As a result, as we said last week, they're often talking a different language.
Right.
And sometimes having a facilitator or a translator in the mix as your advisor can actually help with that.
So Meridian Merchant Capital can play that role. I know Meridian finds money beyond what the banks can offer for certain types of situations, fast growth, mergers, acquisitions, that type of thing. But does your company actually arrange bank financing?
Absolutely. Banks are our good friends. I mean, we basically can't do many of the deals we do without them being involved. What we want to do is supplement what they do with enough additional capital and information that they want to do more than they had previously done with that client. We want them to keep the good client. The client doesn't want to have to change banks. If there has been a breakdown in that relationship, you will definitely hear about it. The bank will tell the client that they would take his business elsewhere, which could include calling his loans, and that's a different situation. So sometimes you do have to get over that fear factor, and certainly Meridian can help you with that information because it isn't actually difficult. It's just a question of providing timely information, accurate information, and being open.
Now, one last quick question is. The big banks will advertise and promote themselves as being able to advise you and help you in all these different areas of your business. Really, it's probably not a bad idea to have independent advice from your bank as well.
Well, you don't want to diss the banks.
Right.
Banks are, as I say, are our friends, and they are the biggest providers of capital into the mainstream, if you like. But they are busy people, and they are in the business, as we've said before, of renting money. There are divisions of banks that do get involved in the kind of activities that Meridian gets involved in. That's advisory work and investment advice. But they aren't independent.
Right.
We are in a position to add value to both the bank and the client by bringing both perspective and making sure that we can negotiate on behalf of the client to get the best deal, whether it's with the bank or the investor. And also those materials we've talked about so many times this week and last, making sure they're in good shape so that there's no missteps when you do go to the bank, or for that matter, any other lender or investor.
Great. Well, there's some good advice about how to communicate with your bank from an ex-banker and currently President and CEO of Meridian Merchant Capital. And that is the website, meridianmerchantcapital.com, for more information. Please go there and join us again the next time for Meridian Business Television, where business owners access capital. I'm Randy Lennon.